Candace Owens has just dropped her first episode of her Bride of Charlie documentary series that she's going to be getting into in pretty detail, of just looking into the past of this grieving widow. And I know she doesn't like us saying that, but she is. Anybody that becomes a widow, that's what you are. That's what you are. I know Erika Kirk stepped into the role and assumed the position of president of or CEO of Turning Point. That was her choice. We can discuss that all day long, but is what she doing and go and diving into Erika's past, like intensely diving into her past. Is this legitimate? Should we actually be leaning in and listening to this? All right, we're going to dive into this. I wanted to start off with Eyal Yacobi. He tweeted yesterday, so far, Candace Owens has alleged that Charlie Kirk was murdered by Israel, B-Cult, TPUSA, FBI, Trapdoor, Mormons, Britney Spears, Egyptian Plane, Erika Kirk, the Feds, Trump, Kash Patel, Macron, MK Ultra, military, maroon shirts, Daily Wire, and time travelers. She's brought even a bad name on time travelers at this point. But what she got into yesterday, towards the tail end, and I spoiler alert, what she dropped yesterday, there really wasn't much there. But I want to dive into this last part where towards the tail end of her video, and then we'll kind of dissect a couple of things that she brought up. But towards the tail end of her episode, people just sending comments. They pointed out to her that how people are just zeroing in on this widow, and she says, like, should we really be freaking out about this? It really was kind of eye-opening what she said in this.
Why are you freaking out about an investigative series if your whole premise is she's just an innocent grieving widow? Don't you appreciate how stupid you look? You're basically saying she's not a grieving widow. Obviously she's not, because if you investigate her, you're going to find something. Like, are you guys just not smart?
Just that. So I'm all for, if you want to investigate, it's not like, can you do this? But it's almost like, should you be doing this at this point? Like, and what's the underlying point of what you're doing? Like, it's because she's insinuating that Erika Kirk was a part of her husband's murder. That's the problem. That's the problem. And is there evidence? And if it was just after a year of just evidence coming out, maybe the trial happening more, but it was immediate, and it was right away. She drew this out, and she's landed on Erika Kirk, and she's put her in the crosshairs.
You should be like, oh, interesting. Well, she's great. So what are you going to investigate? No, they're like, pray for Erika. Someone's looking into her background. Pray. Oh, she will need your prayers. Her children need your prayers. They were doing that. Pray for her children. Why? Because she's at the office the whole time? Like, what was that? What was that freak out panic? When did we ever...
This happened yesterday, or I guess it was Monday, whenever the trailer dropped of this coming out, and everybody on Twitter went just calling her a demon, and they made it seem like it was a coordinated attack. People were getting paid for it. Whereas it was just so flamboyant and clear what she is doing now. I think everybody kind of knew what she was like, bringing up Charlie and bringing up Erika Kirk being a part of it, and TPUSA. But she has put her on the thumbnail, put Erika Kirk on the thumbnail, and that she is the one. She is the biggest suspect in this whole investigation. She is like the focal point. And I'm all for, if you want to investigate, I think even Erika Kirk would probably be like, you're going into my past, you're going to try to find all this stuff. You're probably going to find out things I don't even know. And if I sat back and thought about like people looking into my past, I don't remember a lot of things that happened last week. And what happened when I was a child, the things that kind of developed me and my parents and all that, that what control do we have about that? But what it goes to is that she's somehow influenced by Judaism, and she's a Jew. She's being propped up by Israel. That's the underlying whole point of this.
Said anything to the children at all? Ever said anything? Of course, we want the children to be great. You should not be praying for the children.
She's the one who brought up the children. She brought up Charlie's kids. And it is like kids are off limits. Kids are off limits, but she's the one who brought them into this. She's the one who brought them into this, saying that like they weren't sleep trained. That Charlie being up the night before and just kind of really just expecting that Charlie, like, that he would, him going and sleeping in his child's room, that is cause for concern, which that almost saying that what Erika is saying was lying and making this up. That, like, her sending him to her room to get a rest before the day before. It's just all this speculation. Whereas, is there really need to speculate at this point? Like, about all that? She's creating things out of thin air. And that's what it's like she's making herself believe these things. But she brought up the children, and then everybody else has kind of turned on her and started pointing out, you want to bring children into this? I mean, anybody that does that, I would say, even if it, as a reaction, that's not a good thing. Let's not do that. Let's not go down that route of bringing kids into this, But if you're working for Candace and you're out there pushing these things forward, you're producing this material, you're going out there, the people out there that are filling her with all these details and all I think a lot of it is just kind of made up. I heard someone say something and you just send it to her tips email account, and then she's going to run with it like it's the truth, like it actually happened. But she's creating this and making it seem like that she believes it. But I don't think she actually believes it.
Because an investigative series is coming out about their mother, who has chosen to be the CEO in her husband's stead. That's a decision that was made. Okay? So here we are. You want to be in the realm of politics. You want to be here. You want to be telling people who to vote for the future president of the United States in 2028 as you come out to Sparklers. Okay, well then put on your big girl pants. You don't get to play the role of a grieving widow when people want to know who you are, especially when you're telling lies.
Immediately, right when Erika Kirk came out, like I don't think I knew anything about Erika Kirk at all. The first thing I ever found out about her was whenever Charlie died, and I saw her tweet out there, that Bible verse, the God is our refuge, and like what she was going through. I never even knew anything about her at all, and I don't think a lot of people do. She was on the back burner, but this is just concocting so many things out of thin air, just making them up. Because the whole video yesterday, and I watched the episode. There was nothing remarkable there. It was all about dates that she's seeing being changed, and marriages of Erika's mother and her family, and it brought the only thing I could think of was, which was kind of funny, like Dwight Schrute and Michael Scott off The Office. Dwight does some investigative work to find out about this internet girl that Michael likes, and he's like, I saw that she bought a mountain bike on eBay in 2003, and he's like, all right. He's like, so anything else? Well, we know she's into mountain biking, or at least she was. Okay, that's what it felt like. It's like that's what you're pulling up, and I know she has a whole army that are going out there and are going to be pulling things from her past. Anyone that's talked to Erika, that's like it's just almost like torture on Erika, because throughout her life right now, she has to be so on guard that, like, anyone, she can't be real. She can't, like, flub up. She can't, in case someone's rolling a video on something. I know throughout our day, we smile every now and then. We laugh. Even if we've gone through something horrific, we have to almost psych ourselves up to not go insane and go crazy. We need to somehow escape at times through the hurt and the pain that we're going through. Whether that's like through reading or watching movies, being with friends. Do you want to every moment like dwell on everything negative and terrible that you're going on? I would say that would be the opposite of what you should do. And so I don't know everything about Erika, but I know that what Candace is doing is obviously wrong, clearly wrong. It's clearly wrong what she's doing, and it's not that she can't do it. She can do it all day long. And like as Erika did, she stepped into the role of being the CEO of Turning Point. That was her choice. She did that. But now that she's there, we can critique her as being CEO of Turning Point. But if you're critiquing her and saying that she was part of this massive conspiracy, she's like the linchpin of this massive conspiracy to murder her own husband, that's a reach. And I mean, you could say this about anybody. I mean, you can make up anything and try to start believing it. And That's what with Candace, it doesn't seem like she actually believes this. I don't think she actually believes this. I think she wants attention. That's the bottom line. She just wants attention, and she's going to do anything in her power to get attention. And she's jumped on this and just riding it out as much as possible, squeezing everything out, doing it almost out of just a vindictive nature of just like, because she's like, I can make two seasons of this. I could keep rolling with this. I think just watching yesterday, I was curious. I think that is what the nature of it right now. People are curious. You got to keep topping everything you're doing. And whenever she goes into this, if she doesn't find anything, if there's nothing at the end, like down this road, people are going to start checking out. And I think a lot of even her most diehard supporters will start checking out, because if it was like yesterday, because that was a complete letdown, we're thinking, don't get away from this, like, of just going into her past for no reason, of like, should we, we're doing this because she's the CEO of Turning Point. No, the underlying premise is that you're saying she was part of killing Charlie Kirk. That she's a part of that. That's what I mean. That's what you're alleging. If you're saying she needs to be booked and taken down and questioned right now, you're putting that out there. People know what you're saying, even though you don't always explicitly say it. There are times it seems like she does, like, heavily implicitly say it. That's what she's driving at. Erika Kirk was a part of that. She was almost the mastermind, or she was the Jewish tool that the Jews, Israel, used to put her there to just develop a relationship, to be that planted wife. I mean, there has to be a lot of things work together perfectly for that to actually happen. And if you're a person that is tied to reality and tied to truth, tied to evidence, not just leap to conclusions. I mean, we can ask questions all day long. We can just ask questions if we want. But I mean, if you're just making things up, this is why it's ruined conspiracies for a lot of people. This whole saga, fiasco, it has ruined conspiracies for a lot of people, because when we think of something of working together, there has to be something higher up pulling strings and moving parts and all that. There's a reason why we're thinking that, because of things of evidence that is there, and things just don't line up or make sense. Jump into these conclusions and just blasting everyone and saying Erika Kirk was a part of this. She did this. We gotta investigate her, because she's the one that the Jews installed as Charlie's wife. And I know a lot of people can be funny about this. Tim Dillon, he's funny about this, and he's like, makes it light and everything like that. But really, it is you could be destroying this woman as well as her children and hurting them, and just thinking about like the future. This isn't just a sitcom that we're all in and there's an audience and everybody's laughing. There might be some of that, spiritual entities out there, and and kind of watching us and kind of trying to figure out what are these crazy apes doing down there. I don't think we're all apes, but like, what are they doing down there? It's kind of a show. It's not like that. It's not like we realize there is truth and reality. There is a concrete world that we're walking into. The choices that we make have real ramifications. It's actually going to hurt somebody. It's not just in my mind that it hurts them. They're just a thing that poofed up in my consciousness, and they're not really real. The things that that Candace is doing to Erika is going to have damaging effect. If she's not spot on, she has to get this one right. I mean, I know we can do the blanket statement of Israel, they're behind it because they're the boogeyman, they're everywhere, but when you're actually a specific person like this, you gotta have cause. And I would want to say, like, Erika, I do not understand why there has to be a reason why they're not bringing up charges, bringing up a litigation against it. I know they sent the cease and desist a letter to Candace, but I wouldn't just continue just to sit back. You need to move with this. If you're going to sue her, I would say move forward with this. Do something, because it is kind of like, why aren't you doing anything right now? Are you just letting damages rack up, charges rack up? And I know a lot of things happen behind the scenes, and everybody can go on the camera and put a face on, but something needs to happen, and I think, and the more that they sit back and not do anything, it does bring into questions because I do know that a lot of people are like, why don't they? If she has nothing to hide, but I mean, everybody's got things, and everybody's got things that people could bring up and try to slam you on. It's just, is this the ought to right thing to do? It does not seem like that at all. So I hope she backs down, but I don't think she's gonna. She's not gonna. Candace is not going to, and we obviously know that Erika saying stop did not stop her, and we don't know if her husband has said stop. He might be saying stop every night. I don't know, but we'll find out. All right, we'll leave it at that. Follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. If you are on the Candace train, or if you're not, or you're open-minded, I say we all stay open-minded. All right, we'll leave it at that. Have a good day, everyone.